Well, we've been in the city centre now in Derry for 40 years. We started off in Foley Street for a couple of years, but in 1973, but due to some explosions next to our shop, we had no option but to move elsewhere. So we moved into Bishop Street in 1976 and been here ever since. We have 3 years ago split the piano and church organ side. It just was impossible to try and operate that side of the business in Bishop Street because the city centre has become so busy. With a new location down in Northland Road Industrial Estate, where we are today, we've got great access for our customers coming from Donegal and also from Derry, and that there's no problems with parking or the hassles of the city centre. Our family, initially, whenever the shop opened, it was opened by Brendan and Brian, my two brothers, and in those days, back in the early 70s, the main instrument we would have been selling would have been pianos. And the reason why pianos would be in our blood is that because my father was a piano tuner back in 1932, so our association with the piano business goes back as far as 1932. And my father died in 1960, just at the point where he had secured premises in William Street to open up a piano shop. Sadly he died in 1960, and it was 1967 before Brian, my brother, came back after training to become a piano tuner, and we opened in the first shop in 1973. There wasn't that much business about, things were tough, but we struggled on, and I think that when we took the decision to increase the type of instruments that we were to sell, meant we were attracting a bigger market. We started adding guitars to our display as well as pianos, and we then gradually built it up. We started selling accessories for guitarists, like strings and so on. To the present day, that if you were to walk into our Bishop Street shop, you'd see virtually every instrument available to man, from orchestral, brass and woodwind instruments, to guitars, percussion, keyboards, etc. As well as Irish traditional instruments like flutes, banjos, mandolins, mandolas, so on. Another important thing to mention is that the vast majority of our staff come from our own family, and most of them, I think nearly all of them, play a musician of one or more instruments, like piano, clarinet, saxophone. So it helps whenever you're talking to a customer about recommending an instrument for them to buy, that you have some musical background. Well, over the years, there have been various events we've held in the shop to promote the shop itself, but also to take part in bigger things that were happening within the city. The Jazz Festival that you mentioned. This year, for example, we had 3 bands in on the Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and for the first time this year we had a rock group in, which we're delighted about, because the rock group was King Rat, and the drummer of King Rat's Terence O'Donnell, who is a full cousin of the Henderson family, so it was good to get Terence in with his band. On the Saturday and Sunday we had the Jivaholics and Reggae G and his Crazy Gang, and if anyone wants to check out YouTube, there's some great footage over the weekend. As I said earlier, whenever we started off, the piano business was the business that we knew well, and that was an automatic choice. So we had a piano shop, if you like, to begin with, and as the company has grown, we've been able to display and sell all other instruments, which means that in times when maybe the piano business is not so buoyant because of economic conditions that affect everyone, at least there are other instruments that are less expensive that people can start off with. Again, because of the new piano and church organ showroom in Northland Road, it's the fact that Bishop Street now is a small instrument shop, is pretty well kitted out, as much as it's likely to be. We don't have plans to acquire any more premises in the future. Part of the problem these days in running a business is ensuring that you keep a good control of your overhead costs, and rates, for example, would be a good example of heavy cost to affect any business. So having 2 premises at the minute is probably enough for what we propose to do in the years ahead. Well, as the only music shop in the city now, I suppose people you would assume automatically come to you, and that's not always the case. So you have to be every bit as sharp as any other business would be, particularly where people know the internet is a big competitor to a shop like ours. But the one thing that the internet cannot do is it cannot provide the backup service that we provide. And it's not just the ability to want to help somebody out if there's a problem. We've got a history going back to the 1930s in the piano business. There's nothing can go wrong with the piano that we don't know about. We have technicians working in the shop, such as Brendan, who can also do repair work to other instruments such as violins and so on. So I think the secret of our success is the experience that we have over many years, and the fact that whenever you're part of a family business like Henderson Music, you care. You want to make sure that people get the best service.